Welcome to Chapter Sass, the podcast where we deep dive into the books that make you blush, gasp, and maybe even think a little. I'm your host, Season, and with every book, I'll be joined with a new co-host with their own hot take. From spicy romances to messy love triangles and all the glorious chaos in between, we're here with a fresh perspective to unpack the stories we love, question what we think we know, and explore how the book speaks to us. Things might even get a little sassy. This episode is rated mature and will contain spoilers. Let's get into the first chapter. Welcome back. We will cover all the books of Agatar before October 27th, Book 6 release date. If you like slightly dramatic recaps, unhinged theories, some foul language, and knowing I won't say a single name correctly, but I think in this episode I will say their names correctly. Maybe.
Probably
we'll
not.
see.
Are we taking
I
bets?
brought an extra drink just in case.
All right, we'll drink for every time I say a name wrong. You are in the right place. Make sure to subscribe and like this episode. Today we are covering book 3 of the Agatar series, so A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas, and we're going to cover part 2, chapters 26 through 40. Yes, Andrea. We would do a high-level overview of the designated chapters of each during each episode, and of course we'll end with our sassy topic, and this episode will contain spoilers and have mature content. But before we meet our co-host, I just want to say this week is the first week anniversary of Chapter Sass, and so I have wine. This is what am I drinking? I wasn't have champagne, but I started drinking it yesterday, and you can't carry it over, like you can't carry champagne over. But I did open.
Right.
But I did open one of the wineries that like isn't like in Binny's or whatever. Like you have to be part of this winery to get it. So good wine, everyone. So woo! I also just want to take a quick second to thank you all and all of the guests who have recorded with me up until now. So thank you, Vanessa, Rachel, Danielle, Anna, Michelle, Jody, Derek, and Andrea. You guys are amazing. So thank you.
This is so exciting. Congratulations.
Yay. So cheers, some more years to come. And with that being said, oh yeah, cheers. Yes, not that I'm not crazy enough because I work full time, have a super social life. Doing this podcast sometimes takes so much out of me, like just the notes, because like I read it and then I do the notes but if I'm not crazy enough, I've decided I'm going to add 2 more podcasts to this as well. So I'm going to be having like sister podcasts. They'll fall under the Chapter Sass like brand, but we're going to have Sassy Chit Chats and Sassy Trivia. So Sassy Trivia is going to be just trivia from the books that we're already reading. So that will probably come out. I haven't decided if I want it to be bi-monthly or monthly episodes, but I'll decide once I think I can figure it out. And then we're going to do the Sassy Chit Chat, is just sitting with people in the book community and just talking about things. So like talking with indie authors, interviewing them. If a book shop wants to talk, I actually have one in mind that I'm trying to see if they will get on the podcast with me. Book influencers, people who go to conventions, like what they like, they don't like. I also want to do like a TV show, like if it's a book to TV or movie, like what we liked about like how they converted it to the on-screen adaptation, just because I'm not going to cover all the books that are there, but like I have so much to say. Like I'm finally seeing the off-campus show and I have like so much to say.
Girl.
I have so much to say from like the book. And it's just like, this is perfect for it. So be on the lookout for that. That will probably be monthly.
I was thinking maybe The Witcher, but sure, of course you want to do it.
I love The Witcher. I didn't read the book, so if someone wants to like be the book person and I can tell you what I liked about the TV show
I'll be your book nerd. I'm your
all right.
Bear.
Woo! Okay. Now, with all of that, let's welcome my co-host. So, Andrea, hello. How are you? What are you drinking? Tell me about your weekend.
I don't remember.
There was a weekend?
She's packing?
Yeah, I packed. That's it. And spoilers, if I were to pan the camera, it wouldn't look like we packed. So we're just going to keep that to ourselves. I have, it's Summerween, guys. I have Dr. Pepper in my skeleton glass.
Nice.
Yes. $1 at Walmart last year. Thank you very much. And then I've got water. And then I have a cup filled with caramel brownie ice cream. This is my Harry Potter cup. Yes.
Yeah.
And my Night Court shirt.
Saw that. Saw that, peeped it, love it.
Love it.
Bought it specifically for today.
It's beautiful.
Love it. Jody, how was your weekend? How are you? What are you drinking?
I also don't remember what the fuck I did this weekend. What did we do this weekend?
I can't say it on there.
Oh,
Wait, was it in the text? I think it was.
He was like, they remind
Wait, we're
me to
supposed
say,
to remind.
we're supposed to remind you something about, was it strawberries or
Nutella.
Nutella? It was Nutella. You're right. It was Nutella.
Her body temperature has to be 110 degrees right now.
fucking
What's so
hot, right?
crazy? And she put in the group chat that she was mortified. Now we're looking you in the eyeballs.
God, I have tears. Oh my god. Apparently I had a great week. Anyways, I'm just drinking some water.
Cause you thirsty?
It was all that
Oh
Nutella.
my gosh. God, I just straightened my hair. Like I could feel the curls coming back at the back of my head. Just anyways,
It hurts to laugh, you guys.
I have my Mr. Darcy shirt on.
Mr. Darcy Fitzwilliam.
It's appropriate.
That's my boo thing. And yeah, that's it. That's it.
Okay. All right, Derek.
it.
How are you? What are you
Derek.
doing? How was your weekend? What are you drinking?
My weekend was really good. I just got back from a trip to Seattle. Took a solo trip to Seattle last week. Went
Check it
hiking.
out.
Oh, got her those
You see?
earrings.
There's
Wait,
The
did a-
silver
Is that a snake?
Yes,
It is.
with emerald eyes.
Oh, love it. Derek, where's my present?
It's in the mail.
Oh, good answer. Good response.
It ain't coming from Seattle.
Well,
obviously.
Amazon is headquartered in Seattle, so technically. No, I had a great week out there. Had some incredible food, incredible coffee. Had a great time. I was very happy to come back and be able to relax over the weekend. Slept till 10 o'clock both days, Saturday and Sunday, which was fucking wild.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
You're not sleeping at 10
I
o'clock no
can't
more.
wait to hear this story. I know it's gonna be a good story.
I made a custom drink tonight. I'm torn between calling it the Night Court or calling it Resand. It is muddled blackberries, club soda, simple syrup, and mezcal. And I am drinking it in my
In the
period.
OG McDonald's Lord of the Rings cups.
Yes. And
Yes.
let me tell you that I thrifted. And let me tell you, this one, I don't think you can see it. This one is my filler character, Arwen. She was a filler character in the movies because she fucking sucked.
Yeah.
No, I
Book
think I
Arwen-
liked her.
Book
Who was
Arwen-
she in the movies?
Liv Tyler, fucking boring.
She was like the pretty
Book-
witch or whatever,
Yeah,
right?
useless.
No,
the pretty elf.
no. She was the placeholder elf woman that was
Yeah, she was.
Aragorn's
I
love
loved
interest.
her.
She had zero plot. She was only there to be beautiful, and it was Liv Tyler. Anyways, don't get me fucking started.
Obviously.
And I also have my backup drink. This one is Aragorn because he's my boo.
And you have the light
And
thing still.
I have the light on the stand. Yes, so I have.
I also have to take a little credit because I found those.
Yes.
She
Yay,
did.
Jody.
She thrifted them for me.
I did.
I think you
Oh my
thrifted 2 of
gosh.
them, and then I found 2 more at my
I
local
had
thrift.
one, and I found a set. And remember who?
And let me have nothing.
Huh?
I said I love you. What'd you say? But I also have Frodo and Gandalf. But I had to bring my filler character, Elaine, and then my boo, Aragorn.
We will talk a little bit
Our
about Elaine
boo.
today.
Our
Yo,
boo.
because she ain't filler.
No,
this
your
stretch of
boo
chapters.
your boo is Boromir.
I do love Boromir, but Aragorn can also get it.
You don't have an Aragorn T-shirt, but you do have a Boromir T-shirt.
I have 0 Lord of the Rings t-shirts.
Well, we're gonna fix that via
All right.
Seattle.
But my first fantasy crush was Orlando Bloom when he was the elf, and only when he was the elf.
Why do you pick the worst characters
It
to fall in love
was
with?
nothing
Steven?
else because I do not find him attractive at all in anything. But
Right now
young
you're down for
season,
Arwen,
tell you.
Legolas, and Tamlin. Like, what the fuck, season? Do better.
Red
Pick
flag
better.
season.
At least
Young
you're
season was
consistent.
so turned on by
Very consistent.
the elf
can't
ears,
believe
the
you didn't
blonde
like,
hair. Let me tell you,
Orlando Bloom in Pirates of the Caribbean.
I
He
didn't
was
really
too
like him in
masculine
that.
for her.
Yeah, I
He
didn't
was
really
not
like him in
feminine
that.
enough.
It's too late for me.
Harry.
Oh my god. You're wild for that.
I love you guys too. I love you too.
Yo, that's so crazy. Legolas is giving Tamlin. I just
Yes, 100% he is.
I didn't put that together until right now.
You
That's
know what?
hilarious.
Leave her alone. Leave her alone.
Stop it. Stop
It's
it.
okay.
Stop it.
I can fight my battles. I'm good. It's fine. People make
She's
fun of me all
gonna
the time.
fight them from
Also,
Jamaica.
I will be in Portugal next month or 2 months from now. So yes.
Yeah. Okay. Talk your shit, guys. Let's go. What else you gotta say? Let her have it.
Partake all next month? All right, listen.
Oh my
2
god.
That's why you like
Oh my
Tamlin.
god. Oh my god.
She's gonna be in Barcelona.
Alrighty. Okay. Let's recap of where we are. I actually don't think this will be a long episode though, because
Yeah, okay.
a lot of it was like the war or the battle, and like as much as it was great, like that's shit you have to read. Like really, like I mean, I pulled out what I thought was important, but
This was so much world building.
Yes.
It was like dense world building. You get one little spicy scene.
no, we get like 3.
Oh, I skipped them. And because I was like, get back to the plot. Get back to Miriam and Draken. Yeah.
All right.
All right, go ahead.
So recap of where we are. So Feyre goes undercover in the Spring Court and turns everyone in the Spring Court against Tamlin and Ianthe. Lucien and Freya are on the run to the Autumn Court, but Lucien's homecoming doesn't go as planned, and his brothers try to kill him and Freya. While at the Autumn Court,
Drink.
what did I say wrong?
Drink.
I said
Freya.
Drink.
Freya.
I think that's because I'm talking fast.
Right.
I love the bold drink. We not being sly about it this episode. Miss Barcelona, Portugal.
So Barcelona's next year in Spain for my sister's wedding. I'm going to Lisbon and Porto, but yes.
You see what I'm saying? Come on, Freya.
You see what I'm saying?
Let's go.
Okay. While at the Autumn Court, Feyre.
Yeah. Now you got
That's
it.
what I said.
I
Now we're in your
cannot
head
wait.
about it.
Girl, you're in
wait for you to
4K.
edit
Watch it
this.
back.
I can't wait for
Roll
you to
it back.
edit this and go, oh shit.
Say it's not like we can't check.
Okay.
Oh my god.
It's okay.
She uses her magic. That's from the Autumn Court, and Eris now knows she has fire like his dad. The inner circle is reunited, and don't worry, Rhysand made sure to have homecoming with his high lady, and she's like, hi, I'm coming, daddy, before I see my sisters, because who cares that they're, turned fae and I haven't seen them in weeks. We have what's his name again?
Rubble. Zach just brought him
We have
downstairs.
Rubble join the podcast for 2 seconds. The dog was adorable. He wanted his mama's love, and then she put him back on the ground.
Yeah, he's mad at me now. Sorry about that. Keep going. Sorry. Go.
Feyre meets her sisters. Finally, she sees them for the first time since they've turned fae. Don't worry, Nessa has still kept her resting bitch face. Elaine is wasting away. Unlike Tamlin, Lucien knows his mate needs to go outside. The threat of Hybun is looming. The inner circle knows that they do not have the numbers to win, but maybe they can persuade the monsters or the creatures to help. Feyre visits the Bone Carver, asks for help in exchange for his freedom. The Bone Carver says, bitch, please. I allowed myself to be captured, and I will stay here unless you give me the Ouroboros, which just so happens to be at the Court of Nightmares. And now it's time for a little field trip to the Court of Nightmares where, Eris has walked in and is the special guest. So now we have the next chapter. Since Moore's dad really doesn't want to help Reese with the war and give Reese access to his Darkbringers, he's pretty much like, nope, I need for you to sweeten this deal. So Reese tries to do that by rebuilding the connections that he would have had at the Autumn Court with Eris if Moore had married Eris. As a reminder, Eris called off the engagement to Moore. Eris will offer an alliance, like if they agree to do all this, but also Eris agrees not to tell his dad that he's at the Night Court making this, or he's just gonna try to do everything without his father. And he also agrees not to tell his dad about how Feyre has fire power that he got from the Autumn Court. However, Moore's dad doesn't really care for this alliance. He wants access to Valaris. And Moore is like, no, Valaris is her safe place. That is her home. But Reese says, okay, fine, but there'll be conditions. And Moore's dad is like, okay, cool. That's all I need. Moore's furious, but there's nothing that she can do. And so Feyre asks for the Ouroboros mirror. And she says, like, can she have it? And she is told that she can have it as long as she can take it. So in order to take the mirror, you have to claim it by looking into the mirror, which isn't easy because those so far who have looked upon it have gone crazy or have gone mad. Meanwhile, Eris is taking this all in, and he's just like drinking his wine. He's just like sitting there watching everyone, just everything unfold. But we get a glimpse into who Eris really is because they do still need the Autumn Court to join to like fight against Hybun, but he's not as bad as like we all think he is. So Moore makes a comment saying, oh, is your price to like help, make sure your father joins a new bride that you can torture? And Eris says, I don't know who fed you those lies. Eris explains that everything is not what it seems. Eris explains that he was not there when Lucian Love was killed and when they did all that to Lucian, and that he paid for that afterwards with his father. So like, don't think that he didn't pay for it. But then he says, who do you think made sure that Lucian made it to the spring border? So can't wait for his story.
Eris and Durian are going to be good guys.
Yeah, I think he's also gay. Because especially in this part, he's going to say no.
I said out loud. Sorry, not bad.
To get to it because in like 2 more times, or like in a little bit, in like 5 minutes, I'm gonna get to it. He says something to Moore where like you would have had a good life, or I would never have touched you, and it's kind of like, but if you become the next in power, you need to have heirs, and you would have needed to have touched her. So this is why I think he's either gay or like swings, but we'll get to that part in a little bit. Point is, can't wait for Eris' story. I do think it might be next. I think more. So turns out that book 6 and 7 and I think maybe 8 are technically all connected, but like Sarah J. Maas couldn't print like a 1,000-page book. So we're gonna get like part 1 in October, like part 2 in January, and I'm not sure if those 2 books are it or if the third one is going to relate. So who else can be a big story? I think Moore, because Moore is going to connect Azriel and like all their stories interconnect, but we don't know her past yet. So I have a feeling it's going to just be like more story and like, but with Eris and all these people that she's with. That's what I think. But anyways, as the meeting ends, Eris tells Moore that he would have never have touched her. Again, I just said that this is why I think that he might be gay, because you need an heir, so he would have had to touch her at some point. But Eris says, and I quote, I know why you did it, so I gave you your freedom, ending the betrothal in no uncertain terms. So again, he's not as bad as we think. Like, did she need to end up with a stake in her tummy by her parents? Probably not, but like Eris thought that he gave her out and like that was okay. And then he also tells Moore that there's little that he regrets, but that is one of the things that he does regret. So again, can't wait for Moore's book. If Moore's book is next, can't wait for her book. So now everyone heads back to the townhouse and shit doesn't get any better. Moore and Cassian are pissed with the whole Eris situation, but they understand why Reese did it because they need to protect Feyre and her secret with the High Lords and her having their powers. But Reese should have told him what he was doing. Then, to make things even worse, Rhys gave Moore's dad access to Valaris, and Valaris is her safe place. Again, it is her home. But Rhys is like, I took steps to protect Valaris, so no one will host your dad when they come to stay, so they will have no choice but to, like, they'll come, but they're going to have to leave right away. So I think that's, like, at least he thought of that a little bit in advance. But then Amren gets pissed. And, like, everyone's just kind of fighting. They're going back and forth. But, like, Amren gets pissed, and it's not good. And somehow, while they're going back and forth, they let it leak that they went to the prison. And Amren is like, what? And Cassian gets in front of Nesta to protect her. Rhys gets in, like, kind of flanks Fair aside. Azriel's, like, calling his shadows. And wouldn't mind the Amren story, even though I think you should have died at the end of this book. But anyways, we'll get back to this. But we find out a little bit about Amren. So we find out she is a messenger, like, kind of, she's like a messenger soldier, like assassin for a wrathful god who ruled the world. So is this supposed to be a connection? Is she like connection to, like, Maeve? Is this supposed to be like her Maeve connection?
Wait, what? What?
No,
It's
she was
Maeve.
just first of all, we have the word assassin, so that's why I'm putting it with Throne of Glass. But she was to a god. Oh, I guess Maeve wasn't a god. She was the evil thing. Never mind.
So the part that I latched on to was her talking about the rip in the world because of Crescent City.
Okay, well, that's next. I probably will start Crescent City next week because I have like an hour left of Throne of Glass.
My
which I'll
God,
probably
I'm
finish
so
tonight.
excited.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
and
read
that's
it
the
with
good
you.
part, but I needed to stop it. But
Yeah,
I
shit's
only
about
have
to
like
go
an hour
down.
left.
I'm so sorry for your loss.
Anyways, her name is not Amren. She does not remember her name. But there is a reason why she uses Amren, but she says it's too long of a story. So clearly at some point we're going to get this story. And in order to get out of the prison, Amren had to give up something. She had to give up a part of herself. And when she did that, Amren was able to bond herself to her current body, and the door just opened, and she was able to walk out of the prison. That will have to be the same price that the bone carver would have to pay. And if she were ever unbound, then she would cease to remember any people that she loves, the people that she calls her family, which isn't good because she's technically supposed to be this assassin-like thing. So she'll probably go with them if she ever became unbound. And then to make matters more interesting, Elaine walks in on them and starts with her riddles. Wait, what are we drinking? I caught myself.
You
still said it.
I didn't say nothing. I just took a drink.
I just took a drink. I was talking about.
Elaine walked in with her brand the broken bullshit.
Broken bullshit.
Elaine, yep. Elaine walks in and starts talking in riddles.
Like the fucking three-eyed raven herself.
Oh, God. So annoying.
Great connection. I love that. Elaine then says she can hear her crying and that everyone thinks she's dead, but she is just different. She is just changed. And Elaine says, and I quote, I saw young hands wither with age. I saw a box of black stone. I saw a feather of fire on snow and melted. It was angry. It was so angry that something was taken. It took something from them as punishment. Dun, dun, dun. We get a little bit.
You want to
more,
yap about that for a second?
Yeah,
you
let's
guys want
go.
to theorize
Yap
about that for a
let's
second?
do it. Yep.
I had to go get my prop.
Okay, wait, but what book is that?
Crescent City.
Yay! You're gonna read it too?
Of course I'm gonna read it. I own it. I mean, this is book 2. This is just the first one I grabbed.
That's why I didn't recognize it, because
gosh.
that's none of the things I have seen of Crescent City. So, oh my gosh, I love it.
No idea.
Oh my
Well, he's the hunk that someone's gonna fuck, probably.
Oh,
I'm gonna assume that's Bryce. But that's as
Bryce
far
is
as I
that
got.
bitch. She is one of my favorite FMCs, and I can guarantee you right now, Jotty will think
That's
she's
the
insufferable.
threesome that's gonna happen.
This looks
That's
lovely.
the foursome that's
Hello.
gonna happen.
Hello.
Especially with a dude with no shirt. That's definitely the foursome that's gonna happen.
He's, you know,
Yeah.
he's aight.
Some of them need a little, melanin on them, but
Agreed.
otherwise they're good.
You right?
This is in fact a special edition that my sister gave me because she somehow ordered 2. So I have
Happy
she
the
could have ordered 3. I would have
special
definitely
edition of
took
the
one.
first and second book. I love my
Gosh,
sister.
gorgeous.
So what I'm
Yes.
hearing is, Derek, you need book 1.
Yeah,
No,
was
I
gonna
have
say,
book 1 and
Oh.
2. I don't have book 3. Is there a book
Okay.
3?
Okay. Yes.
Yes. There's 3
And
books.
that's the one
Ooh.
that is, in my opinion, being referenced here.
You must wait, Season. I need to know when you're gonna start it so that I can.
Do you want a buddy listen? Oh, okay. I'll let you know. Like I said, I think I have like an hour. I think I have like an hour and like 10 minutes left of
Soon as you
Kingdom
finish
of
and
Ash.
start the next one, you put it in the chat so we can queue up.
Okay, I will put it in the chat. Like, I'm pretty sure I can finish it today, maybe tomorrow.
Don't
Well, I'm
put pressure on
listening to it.
yourself.
Yeah.
But just
well, no,
let
I want to
us-
listen to all of them before the October 27th. So
The
yeah.
way I cannot wait for you to listen to specifically House of Earth and Blood. Like that there, I'm not, sorry, I don't mean to hijack, but there is not a better like intro to a new series romantasy out there. This first book in a brand new series as a fantasy is no notes. Listen, SJM, she did not fail in this series the way people are putting it.
So what I'm
World
hearing
building
is
is-
the graphic audio, because then
Yes.
I'll get all the other stuff behind it, and I'll
graphic
stay
audio
intrigued.
100%. Which
Got it.
I
Got it.
eyeball read it the first time, but the graphic audio is yes.
She is describing the Sanderlanche.
Oh,
I
is that the book that I have
No,
to read?
I cannot agree. I cannot agree because I was immediately.
The Sanderlanche is a term for a Sanderson avalanche where he spends 90% of the book building this giant fucking crest of a story, and then in the last 10% of the book, it fucking just crashes over you with like
that's immediately what I'm saying.
Plot. Just
that's
fucking
immediately.
all
I
at
can
once,
confirm.
and like fucking titillating goosebumps over like the course of like chapters and chapters.
Yeah.
Oh God,
You won't
it is
be
the
ready.
best fucking feeling in the world.
So I'm taking all of this in. We went around the block and down the corner.
We went around the block. I forget why we were going to theorize, but that's fine. Keep going.
Yeah. Well, let's theorize once we get to the actual Ravens, or do you want to theorize before then?
No, not the Ravens. Wait, we weren't there yet. We weren't to the Ravens yet.
No,
she was
but
talking
she's
about
saying the first half of it. She's saying, I saw withered hands. What did she say? I saw young hands wither with age. So she's talking about the queen. So this is like the first half of her little thing. Yeah.
No,
my theory.
She mentions Mist and Shadow in one.
Yeah, that's later. I have it. Don't worry. Okay. Don't you worry. I wrote it.
Yeah, go.
Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
Go.
So really quickly, we're gonna go back just a little bit. So I saw hands. So Elaine says, and I quote, I saw hands wither with age. I saw a box of black stone. I saw a feather of fire land on snow and melt it. It was angry. It was so angry that something was taken. So it took something from them as punishment. Lucian suggests then to bring a healer to come see Elaine. She's like, make sure everything's okay, because she's talking in riddles and no one understands what she's saying. And she wasn't talking like this before she went into the cauldron. So Feyre calls Maja. I forgot her name.
Yeah, the healer. You know, it's a lot of consonants
I'll
together.
Allow it.
Calls the healer. And this is Reese's favorite healer. And she pretty much tells them nothing is wrong with Elaine. She can't enter her mind. However, Elaine is processing trauma. So like overall, she's fine. She's just changed. And that's not a bad thing. She just means she's different. So then she recommends that Lucian, since Lucian is her mate, for him to use the bond. So to see if he can find anything like unusual. So then Lucian and Elaine sit by the fireplace and have the most awkward first date anyone could ever have. And he tries to feel the mating bond, At this point, Lucian is able to tug on the bond, and Elaine does feel it, but she like freaks out. And so, she like kind of leaves, but they agree that there's like nothing honestly like wrong with her. She felt it and all. She's just processing a lot. So again, this is why I hope that they're end game, because she did feel the bond. So fingers crossed. So the bond session is over, and Elaine says, and I quote, Twin ravens are coming, one white and one black. Great foreshadowing. Wait, I missed it.
Andria's face said he doesn't need a W, he needs a casket. I can just tell.
He needs a W.
You know, I don't give a damn about him. He could tug on her literal clothes, and I don't. She said he could feel the bond. It could be a thing. Like he tugged.
Tug, tug, tug.
Is that the nip?
That's how small.
Oh my God. Okay. Then it's like the next day, and then we find Feyre practicing her flying with Azriel. Feyre has a long way to go before she can fly, but Azriel tells Feyre a story that Rhys told him, and the story goes as follows, because apparently it's important, even though Miriam and Draken, showed up for 2 fucking seconds at the end of this book. But anyways, the story...
you know what? And to your point, it's apparently important, but we don't know yet. But we're holding on to the hope.
I will hold on to the hope, but again, they show up for a whole 2 seconds at the end of this book. The story follows Miriam after she has freed her people from the queen. Oh, this was another question I was going to think, because they don't ever say the queen's name. They just say she's queen. And clearly Sarah J. Maas has a thing for kings and queens, because in this one, Hybun, he's the king, right? He's the bad guy. And then Maeve is the bad one with her, the king of whatever. Was it her brother? They just killed him. And
Erewhon,
yeah. Point is, there were royalty, right? King, queen. That's where I'm going with. Do we think that maybe this queen could have been Maeve? I'm just trying to make all the connections now.
So it says, I was going to ask about this too, to your point. There was something about the queen that I latched onto.
Well, while Andrea looks for that, I'm going to go back to the story. So the story follows Miriam after she freed her people from the queen. She led them for about 50 years. And Draken was at her side, but he had an aerial legion because Draken's people were winged, but their wings are different. They're like feathers, not like bat wings. So they're I'm going to say angels, but whatever.
This is the Crescent City reference right here. The Seraphim.
City.
This is huge, but I can't tell you because it's a huge fucking spoiler, but it's important.
Well, thanks for telling us.
So remember it for later, okay?
Okay.
Remember it. Go.
Okay.
Yes.
Apparently,
Seraphim,
I keep trying to tie the wrong books together. Okay, so Crescent City is tied to this.
And it's only because I'm so near and dear to Crescent City because of how long ago I read Throne of Glass, and I'm sure I can make the same collections if I like. But I just so
okay. So this is a Crescent. For those of you listening, there's actually a Crescent Glass or Crescent City. I was putting the 2 titles together.
Yes.
This is a Crescent City reference, not a Throne of Glass reference, though I was hoping maybe the queen could have been the queen in Throne of Glass. But anyways, Draken's people are, what are they called?
Seraphim.
The Seraphim. They're winged people, so they could fly, but they're not wings like the Bat Boys or Illyrians. Their wings were like feathers, so I'm going with angels. I haven't read Crescent City, so I don't know, but that's what was pictured in my head.
Did you not pay attention in Sunday school to the Seraphim?
So
So the Seraphim are the winged creatures that are atop the Ark of the fucking Covenant. Their wings are stretched forward where they touch.
I'm a modern day Catholic, and I got all of my sacraments later in life.
I'm a modern day fucking atheist, and I know this shit.
Just about to say.
you.
I'm a godless motherfucking sinner, and I know this goddamn shit.
I found the part. Did we get to this part yet? The Queen of the Blackland?
Possibly, because I just called her the queen.
Yeah. Okay. Go.
So what's the Blackland? You can't just start that and end.
Because that's what it says right here. It says, we hadn't known it was happening until we returned. We knew that there were people that drowned in the sea. Bruh. You see, when Miriam freed her people from the Queen of the Blackland.
What is Maeve the queen of?
Great question. The spiders, because the spiders are fucking loyal to her.
I mean, if that doesn't say Blackland, I don't know what does.
You know what I mean?
Oh, that's true. It was the spiders. Okay. So, again, these winged people, the Seraphims, but they have a very different view of how women are viewed in society than the Illyrians. So these women are allowed to join the army. They're allowed to actually have an opinion. But the queen was not gonna let Miriam off so easily. Again, it's been 50 years, but pretty much the queen cornered Miriam and her people and they had to like cross like this narrow sea where the humans would then, if they were able to cross it all, they would be able to like run. But Miriam, being the great leader that she is, said that she was going to stay until all of her people crossed. And at this point, Draken's people's magic was all used and they needed to like recharge, so they weren't very much help. But then we had this cartographer, did I say that word correctly? The person who does maps?
Cartographer, yeah.
Correct. Name Nepal. What's her name?
Nafel.
Nafal. This person named Nafal, she really wanted to join the army. It was like her greatest dream, but she didn't pass the test because her wings were slightly malformed and she really couldn't like fly. So like they couldn't trust her to be in the army, but they allowed her to like be in charge of all the maps. But she is the one who saw Miriam go down, and she was able to reach Miriam after the queen impaled her with her spear. But Nafel like wasn't going to leave her friend behind, so she picked up Miriam and flew her out, defying all the odds. And so the point of this story is you never know like what you can do. Like your greatest weakness can become your greatest strength. And so the Illyrians have adopted this philosophy. And so it's pretty much like if you put your mind to it, you can try. And so this was supposed to help Feyre learn to fly, but she still sucks and is not flying. So whenever she decides to fly, this story like was like, okay, let's go. But she still sucks at flying.
Yep.
So while eating the next day, Elaine says to Cassian.
I just wanted to say,
Go ahead,
the Nefel reminded me of Abraxos.
Yeah.
Oh,
Very
yes.
Abraxos.
Yes. Anyways, it's the next day. And while they're eating, Elaine says to Cassian, he snapped your wings and broke your bones. And Cassian's like, it'll take more to kill me. And Elaine responds, no, it won't. So before we get to this, I know at the end of this, Cassian gets hurt very badly and all these things. But I've heard like rumors that like SJM is gonna like possibly kill someone we love. Do we think she might kill Cassian? Like this is like, cause he doesn't die, right? Like, could in a later book Cassian die? Because Elaine says this.
I feel like you can't have this huge thing of the big boys and then kill a bat boy.
Because I've heard so many theories that he will die, and because of his death, it's gonna make Nesta the like queen of the dead or whatever. Like he's gonna die, and like her love for him is gonna make her do something else.
I guess I do like the thought of that, like how do you make an angry bitch even angrier? You take her man, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I don't like it at all whatsoever.
No.
Me neither, because I'm like, no, but I read this and I was like, oh wait, but he doesn't actually die. And Elaine is pretty much saying, no, it will kill you. So like, is this saying that he's going to die in another book?
Ugh, that's a great point.
Food for thought. So after Elaine makes that comment, everyone thinks it's best for Elaine to go to the garden, and Azriel offers to help. So again, this is when everyone starts shipping Azriel and Elaine. Nesta and Feyre head to the library under the House of Wind to see if they can find more information on how to repair the holes in the wall. While at the library, Feyre, takes a little bit longer to read the titles, and Nesta tells her she didn't realize she couldn't read. She assumed that she could read. And she says, why didn't you, if you didn't know how to read, like, why didn't you ask for help? And Feyre's like, I doubted you would have helped me. And while we don't like get any confirmation on this information or whatever, I feel like this kind of goes with my theory because Nesta says like, why, like we would have taught you. Like she uses like the pronouns that they use is like, why didn't you ask us for help, right? So that means more than just Nesta. And Feyre says she doubt that they would have helped her. But here's the thing, Nesta probably wouldn't have helped her because she would have been a bitch. But if Elaine was this sweet person, and it's not like they had shit else to do when they were poor, why didn't Feyre ask Elaine to help? It's not like, like she could have helped her to read too.
Yeah.
This just goes that she knew that Elaine wasn't going to help.
Trash as hell.
Just like Arwen.
Useless.
Filler as fuck.
Yeah, I don't care how beautiful you are. You're useless.
I don't even think Elaine cute. She probably
well, we don't know yet, but yes. But my point in even saying that is like I think even Feyre Feyre knew back then that she, like, Elaine wasn't going to help. And in theory, Elaine's personality, Elaine's everything, she would have been the one to help her, right? Like, that's what we know from her so far. Like, there's no reason to say that has given us so far that why Elaine wouldn't have helped her. But
She
her
couldn't
younger
plant a
sister.
cucumber, so I doubt that she was going to help in any way, shape, or
Correct. All right. So then Feyre asked, like, why do you push everyone away except for Elaine? And right when Nessa's going to answer, they feel something. Then the lights that are along the ceiling, they start to flicker, and then they die one by one, leading them straight out of a horror film. And the girls start running. And Nessa is useless because she's in a dress and she has lack of exercise. But to be fair to Nessa, if I thought I was going to spend a day in the library, I might also be in a dress. But this is just great foreshadowing for Silver Flames. She gets all the exercise there. But anyways, Feyre is trying to call Reese, but she can't. So they keep running. And then finally, Feyre's like, oh, yes, I can whittle, because why wouldn't you? That would have been the first thing I would have thought of. But right as she thinks that, there's like a light and two high fae males come out in front of her, and then they go, and they blow Faebane into her face, and so now she's powerless. But one is dark-haired and one is light, and they are from Hybun. And again, now Feyre is powerless because she decided to wait too long to whittle. How did Hybun get in? How did he break through the wards again? And the two men, they have called themselves the King's Ravens, so they like are his eyes and talons. And they're here to take Nesta back to the king. And so the Ravens say, and I quote, but your sister took something from the cauldron, girl, and the king wants her back. So now they know the real reason the cauldron can't shatter the wall is because Nessa took way too much of its power. So Feyre is just trying to weigh out her options and to see like how they can escape, since of course she is powerless because she decided to whittle way too late. And so the two sisters who have no relationship at all are somehow to communicate with each other. And Feyre is able to say, like, you look at her because she can't like speak in her mind and is like, trust me. And like Nessa's like, I got you, girl. Again, two sisters who have zero relationship are able to have this communication. And so then they start running. They go off and they run down into the darkness, into the pit that they were told to stay away from. And the Ravens, of course, start to chase after them, but they start to give so much information. And it's like, really? Like, how good of a Raven are you if you're just going to tell me all this information that you've gathered? But they say, do you know what happened to the queens? Well, really, they say queens, but really it's just one of the queens. The youngest queen, the idiot, decided to go into the cauldron first. And when she came out, she did turn fae. And the cauldron did give her immortality. However, it took something from the queen because something was taken from the cauldron and it took away her youth. So when she went in, she came out an old lady or with a crone, as the Ravens like to say. And so the rest of the queens won't go into the cauldron now. And now Feyre realizes again, this is what Elaine was trying to warn them about. And so she's thinking this, and she says, Elaine says, and I quote, I saw young hands wither with age. The twin Ravens are coming. So Elaine was using her power and trying to warn everybody. And just now they're realizing that she might be more than just speaking riddles. We also find out that the Ravens are here because they use a spell that can only be wielded once, and and that's how they were able to pass through the wards of Valaris. And so Feyre tells Nesta that she needs to run, that she's going to distract them, and she needs to run in the other direction. And after some hesitation, Nessa agrees to go. Feyre knocks down some bookcase and hopes to distract the Ravens. She keeps running, and in her head, she's thinking, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Then she asks aloud, please, 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 help me, help me. She's talking in the dark. And the Ravens are catching up to Feyre, and they start to taunt her, and they're like, oh, the High Lady, what cage will the king put you in? Blah, 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 blah. And then there's a voice, and it whispers to Feyre, and it's like, are you the High Lady? And Feyre's like, yes. And the monster is like, this is a monster. Is this a god? Is this a thing? We don't know. It's just this all-powerful being right now. Feyre like doesn't feel any like actual presence, like body behind her, but she can feel this thing. She can feel its power. And ain't nothing free in this world. So then the thing asks her, well, what shall you give me if I help you? And now the Ravens realize that Feyre is talking to someone, and they're wondering like, why are you talking to somebody? And then Feyre's like, well, what do you want? And then the thing replies, the stone and the wind hear all, speak all. They whispered to me of the desire to wield the carver, to trade. I knew him once long ago before many things crawled this earth. And now the ravens are super close. And it's like, Feyre's like, what deal do you make? Like, name your price. And then the thing says, I want company. Send me company. Someone to tell me of life. And Feyre's like, deal, let's roll. And so her arm tingles. She gets a new tattoo. And then the thing is like, shall I kill them? Feyre's like, yes. And then the ravens find her and they're like petrified because they can see what's behind her. And the thing says, close your eyes. And Feyre hears bone snapping, blood spattering, and then screaming. And then Risa and Cassian are there to save the day because they sounded off the alarm, you know, that alerts everyone. Cassian takes Feyre and Nessa and flies away. And as they say in fighting games, or as I like to say, button smashing games, finish them. And Rhys finishes off the ravens. And once they are done, Rhys goes, you know when you play like Mortal Kombat?
Did you just say button smashing games?
Yes, because okay, I'm a girl. Like I'm a girl and I don't like
We're all girls,
not to say that girls don't play games, but like I don't play these games. But
listen,
if you give me a fighting game like Mortal Kombat or whatever.
You hear me? I am a master button masher when it comes to Soul Blade, Soul Calibur, Tekken, all of that.
Soul Calibur, that's what's up.
Button mashing master over here.
Yes. If you give me like a fighting game like Mortal Kombat, whatever, I won't know any of the special moves. All I know is I have to
we're not trying to master the
and I have
combos.
to hit everything. And let me tell you, I'm so good at those games.
yourselves, okay?
Because I just like press the buttons. They're button smashing games. And then all of a sudden you're doing all these special tricks and then you win.
Yeah, you flipping and dancing on the stick
like,
and then
stuff.
on the other side. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. It just threw me off, I'm not gonna lie. But you're right.
Eric and I be playing video games. I'm currently playing The Witcher. Y'all got me fucked up, okay? Learn your damn combos, okay?
You know what I'm saying?
Learn the combos.
Learn your damn combos.
Or I can button smash and be amazed by all the combos that I have.
Listen, I have changed my ways. I am a Stardew Valley girly, and I play Minecraft, okay? My Crash Bandicoot days are over.
Oh my God, I miss that game so much.
So once Rhys is done finishing them, he checks in on Feyre. He's not thrilled that she made a deal with the it, because we don't know what the it is right now. But Feyre explains that all it wants is company, and she did not say that she would be the one to give it company or when the company would start. So, you know, she's learning from her deals from under the mountain. Nessa, they then ask Nessa like what she took from the cauldron, and Nessa replies she doesn't know. She doesn't know she took something, like not even Amryn knows. And so now Rhys was able to enter the Raven's minds like right before he destroyed them. And so he knows that the spell that was used to enter is called the Fleeting spell. And it's a mighty spell, but it can only be used once. And so he knows that like Hybun can't just like enter or get past her wards again. Amryn is currently recreating the wards to like make sure it can defend against this type of magic and these type of spells. But now they know that Nesta is the king's priority. And so Cassian like gave Rhys like his vision of like what he saw when he was down there, and he shows that to Feyre. But we get some juicy info in this. So, you know, some little foreshadowing for Silver Flames. So in Cassian's head, it says like Cassian was feeling all this panic and rage as he flew into the darkness. Nesta was there. And he says Nesta first, not Feyre, and Feyre says High Lady. And then he's like, oh yeah, and then Feyre. And then he sees Nesta's first, and his fear was like instant because he could feel everything that she was feeling. He could barely think or breathe once he saw her. And then Nesta told him that Feyre was over there, and she was like, go get her. But during this, she like goes into his arms, and he felt all good. And it's just like Silver Flames. It had already started here. And with this being said, at this point, I knew that they were mates, but it's so nice to go back and like reread all this and be like, aw. So Rhys tells
this for you, but the way this was such high conflict, and that's what you zoning in on, ma'am.
She's here for the romance right now.
So then Reese tells everyone to warn them to stay indoors tonight. And if anyone is left out, they're going to face the consequences because they know for sure the king is not in Valaris, but they need to make sure that none of his people are. And so Amryn will be on the hunt. I will suck your blood. But anyways, this attack on Valaris is not great because it means Valaris is vulnerable. When the king attacked the first time, it was a surprise. So, like, everyone will understand that. But now that they re-put up all these wars and the king was able to attack again, it makes Valaris seem weak, especially with the High Lords meeting that's supposed to take place in 10 days. So everyone needs to keep this little situation on the DL. And so he's talking to the high priestesses. He's convincing them that, like, you're safe here. You can't say anything. Of course, the inner circle is not going to say anything. But while they're trying to discuss all this, Moore is like, well, how are we going to win a war with no allies? And then Elaine says, well, the queen might come. And Nessa's like, what queen? And Elaine says, the one who's cursed. And Feyre's like, oh, the queen that went to the cauldron. And Elaine's like, oh, no, the other one. And Azriel's, and they're looking at her like she's crazy. And then Azriel is the one to be like, what other one? And Elaine says, the queen with the feathers of flame. And now Azriel realizes that she's a seer. And so now it's like all making sense because Elaine is the one who warned them about the ravens and the young queen turning old. And so Elaine explains that there is another queen, and Moore realizes this is the sixth queen that was supposed to be ill. And Feyre says, and I quote, you stole from the cauldron. It seems that it gave something to Elaine, though. And I just want us to talk about this for 2 seconds. So do we think this is another sign that they come from Fae lineage? Because Nesta went in first and she took from the cauldron. But now they're saying that the cauldron gave something to Elaine. But then when the queen went in, it took something from her. So why didn't it take something from Elaine then?
Because Elaine's not weak like she wants us to think.
Yeah.
I don't disagree. I've been saying from day one, Elaine also took something from the cauldron. But because we think she's innocent, she's not. But I also think
Or
Elaine took something
maybe
from the cauldron.
maybe being a seer is a curse.
Good point. Good
Let me
point.
jot that down.
Jot that down. It is true because you can't, like, I mean, I don't know. Every fantasy is kind of different, but from what we know of fantasy, if you could see the future, you're not supposed to, mess with it. So you are supposed to, like, be neutral. So maybe this is a curse. If they're following that same stuff, that, like, she might see people die or might see people do that, she can't meddle
being
with
a
it.
seer is, like, different than, like, an oracle, I think, because an
Okay.
oracle is basically what you're describing in that they can't interfere, they can't like affect the outcome, whereas she is seeing it as it is and can see if something affects it, like if it changes.
I love this.
So
I love
if
that we're
she interacts with
differentiating
it,
between oracle and yeah, I love it.
So I say all this to say, I figured out the differences between, like, the people who can interfere in the path. It's like the butterfly effect, versus the people who just see it as it is and they make no impact on it. Anyways.
So the Azriel's like, he needs info. And so he asks, like, is the sixth queen alive? And Elaine says yes. And this is perfect because they need an ally. The sixth queen could be their ally. And Reese is like, okay, well, what's the curse? And Elaine explains the queen sold this queen to a terrible sorcerer lord, and he's like darkness. Elaine can never see him or see what he is, but he has an onyx box that is vital to saving them. And them, as in, there are many women who are also trapped, but unlike the others, the queen is by day one form, and by night she is human again. And this, everybody, I read this as Fiona, aka Cameron Diaz from Shrek, where she is like, I am by day one form, by night another. So, yes. And then when True
I don't know
Love
why I never
kiss,
put those two together. You were so right.
You're not a Shrek nerd like those two.
Shout out to my goddaughter. She was just in a play of Shrek like 2 months ago, maybe 3. So, like, that shit was fresh in my brain.
Yeah. That's the only reason why I did the gesture, because I remember her playing. I'm like, oh, yes.
Elaine does not know why this queen was sewed because all she sees is the mist and the shadow. And Derek texted the group chat.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yes. And I do think this book, if we didn't already have a mist, I agree with Derek. This would be, if we get the like title in the next like 3 days of Sarah J. Maas and it's like The Mist of Shadow, I would be like, this is Elaine's book. But I don't think we're going to use the word mist again because we've already used it before. So I agree with that. But if it's like anything that's like a synonym for mist with shadow, I do think it will be Elaine's book. So as soon as we get
But
this
also,
fucking title, we'll know.
A Court of Mist and Shadow. How fucking badass does that book sound?
She's not going to use mist again. I agree with you on that.
I don't think she's going to use shadow again because she just used that for House of Flame and Shadow.
True.
That's right. Yeah.
But that's a different series.
So
you haven't read the third book yet.
Oh,
okay. You're
Andria's
right, but it's also a different series. Andria is such a Crescent City girly, guys. Don't worry. We're going to read it, and we're going to be on all your bandwagons, and we're going to know everything.
I can't wait till y'all get in my text messages like, oh, what this happened? I'm be like, I don't know, girl. I don't know nothing.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
So I'm going to gaslight the hell out of y'all.
So Elaine tells them that the queen is by the lake, and this lake is deep. That's what she said, or that's the name of the porno. But anyways, the lake is deep, and it is deep within the continents with the hidden forests and mountains. And everyone is laughing at me because they know that I say that.
I'm not vanilla at all. That's what she said.
That's the name of your porno.
Yeah, because when you say that's what she said, you're not being inclusive. So you need to say that's the name of the porno, so we're including everybody, y'all. Then Elaine says, again, the queen is by the lake, and so are all the rest of them. He keeps all the women there. But the other women are not like the queen. Their feathers are white, and they glide across the lake. So think swan. But the queen rages through the skies above it.
Or seraphim.
Or seraphim. You're correct.
I like that.
Is this now when Miriam and Dragon is supposed to be important? Because they show us the last 5 minutes of this book.
I don't know. I don't know, you guys. I know Jurian is important. I know Lucian's gonna die. I know Vasa, Vasa, I think is important. Right? Don't you guys think?
About to get to the part where I'm gonna say like 4 times Lucian needs a W, and you're just like, he's gonna die.
No, I'm going to be on your side. It's fine. Go ahead. I'll be on your side this time.
I allow you to. I allow you. Well, this is a free world, so you're allowed to have your own opinion.
No. I'm on your side. Go ahead. Yeah, I'll gas you up. Let's go.
Okay. So, and the queen that they're talking about rages above the sky. And there's not much information on this queen, but we know that this queen is like the youngest queen, and she goes by the name of Vasa. And so, if they can find the queen, then this will be great news because they will be she can help them like with this war. She could be a great ally. Also, the queen, this Vasa's people, I forgot what the word was. I didn't write it down, but she comes from like the horse people. So like she can bring in a whole other new ally. So I'm thinking again, Game of Thrones. What was the Dothraki? What was their name?
Dothraki.
Them, the best people in the book. That's what I'm thinking when I see this. I'm thinking that.
Wait.
Fucking Jadi's got me.
What are they called?
Dothraki?
This is a Game of Thrones thing. They're called something else, but I'm saying... Oh, the great question. I didn't write it down. A word that I probably couldn't pronounce, so I was like, oh,
is it a D? Is it a D word?
I don't think so. What are you saying, though, Jadi? What are you saying? I think it's another S word. What are you saying, Jadi? Are you just laughing to laugh?
Yes, totally.
Yeah.
Okay. I think only us 3 got the joke because Andrea hasn't watched Game of Thrones. But anyways. So anyways, she could bring those people because her people are like the horse people. But the key word in all this is if. And so if they use the resources to find her with the war looming so close, that may not be smart because they don't even know exactly where she is. They just know she's by a lake in the middle of the continent. And on top of that, they don't even know if they can break the curse. So sending, the men out there may not seem worth it. And so Reese pretty much tells the inner circle they're not going to go look for her. And then Lucian says, I'll go look for her. because up until now he has been kind of useless, and so he's like, I'm about to fulfill my destiny here. And
Did
Lucian
you say
thinks
kinda?
he's kind of been useless. Yes. And Lucian just thinks that Lucian is like, oh, I can find the queen. And they're all like skeptical and they're like, why? And I mentioned chapter 33 before, but I'm going to mention it again. I'm putting it in quotes. And Lucian says, because of this eye, it can see things that others can't, spells and glamours. Perhaps it can help me find her and break the curse. So Lucian also says, and I quote, I'm not needed here. I'll fight if you need me to, but I do not belong in the auto court. I'm willing to bet I'm no longer welcome at the spring court. And there's nothing I can do here, and I cannot just sit here and do nothing. Those queens, their armies, they're a threat. And so, like, use me, send me. If I find Vasa, I can
Pick me.
see if she can help us. And so, guys, Lucian needs a W. He literally just told us he's never had a home.
And he's gonna die.
No, Derek's not this Fenwick back and he's gonna die. Okay, so then Cassian is like, cool, bro, I'll let you take all my Illyrian blades if you decide to go. And now Feyre and Nessa are a little bit worried because if Lucian dies, then that means the mate bond will impact Elaine. It is now the next day. Amren went on her hunt. She found no man, but we did find out that Valaris does love her because they left blood for her. Like all the people like left blood out for her. But anyways, Lucian is all packed up. Feyre hugs him and tells him thank you, and he responds with, it's time for me to do something. And again, he needs a W because the story just gets sadder and sadder as we go on. But right before he leaves, Elaine is like at the top of the stairs, and she looks at him. They lock eyes, but she doesn't say anything. Then Lucian turns and leaves, but what Lucian doesn't see is that she took like half a step forward as if she was trying to stop him. And so while everyone is trying to ship Azriel and Elaine, they might fuck. They might have a toasty little summer. They might do a little fling, but she is going to go back to Lucian because that is her mate. I don't care what anyone tells me. That is how it's going to happen.
That
is a possible Lucian and Azriel fighting,
thruple.
hitting swords or rubbing swords.
Yeah, she been drinking.
No, I said that before, though, that they might rub swords.
Derek has been drinking too because
Derek, you and me are best friends.
Fingering the air.
Yeah.
Just like, it's gonna be a frappa. It's gonna be a frappa. They're gonna frappa.
I'm here for this triple.
We know.
Think about it.
It was
because
your
now
idea.
Azriel also has his shadows that can also help in pleasure. And then Lucian has
you've
an
been
eye
reading
that
some
I
wild
hope can
stuff. You've been
detect
reading
things.
some wild stuff. You've been reading some wild stuff.
Like,
Listen, you with the shadows.
No, vanilla, remember? Vanilla
right.
with sprinkles. So they go on with their lives, and then a little bit later that day, Amren storms in, and she's like, guys, Hybun is attacking the summer court. And the night squad, they're ready. They're like, let's go. And Cassian's like, did they call for aid? And because 3 of their members have blood rubies, so it's not like blood rubies on their head, so it's not like they can go. And Amren's like, well, the message I got was a little vague, didn't say all that. Rhys asks, what exactly was the message? And Amren's like, she doesn't want to tell him that was her boo. But she was like, well, it was just like a warning for us to like prepare ourselves. And Cassian is like, the prince sent you a message. And Amren's like, that's what friends do, asshole. But really, they're friends with benefits. But we're going to continue. And now they know why the ravens were sent. They were sent to distract them so that they wouldn't know that the summer court was going to get like attacked. So Rhys is like, ready the Illyrian armies. Mor is like, I'm going to be battle ready. And let me tell you, they describe Mor. She's looking hot. Can't wait if this ever becomes a show because she's like, she put her hair in braids. She's like in her tight Illyrian weathers. She has like better knives and better swords. But anyways, they're off to the summer court, but Mor is stuck with Freya. So I did say with an R.
At least you caught yourself.
With Feyre.
She's like, oh,
Mor
shit, I
is stuck
just
with
say
Feyre.
Freya.
Mor is stuck with Feyre. Emily needs to stay behind with Nesta and Elaine and to protect the city because she's all powerful. And then me, I'm just thinking if I just found out my sister could like kind of predict the future or like has information, I'd be like, girl, what can you give me before I go into this battle? Like, what can you tell me to help me win? But, for the plot, we're just going to leave and not escalate anything. Rhys has to go whittle the entire Illyrian army to make it because they're not going to make it in time. Meanwhile, Mor just whittles Feyre. Again, for the plot, if you have two powerful people who could whittle, I would assume you would separate that power because you're about to go into battle with like Rhys and Mor, right? Like they're powerful. But only Rhys takes a whole army. It doesn't make sense. Mor is just going to whittle one person in. But anyways, when they get to the summer court, it is a war zone. There is no signs of any other court helping. The Illyrian people are trying to hold the line, and Mor and Feyre are inside the castle, and they're like, we're gonna be badasses. And so the next few pages / chapters are pretty much on how Feyre and Mor are badasses, but it's kind of hard to explain all that. So I encourage everyone to read this because there's not really much. They just kill random hybrid men that don't really make a difference. Oh, I stabbed him. That's fantastic. You won. But it's amazing. And it does paint them in this powerful women badass way. So I encourage people to read it, but I'm literally only going to take the important parts because again, they killed men that don't help the plot. At least when Feyre killed the adder, the one point the adder was important or whatever. These men are just random men. But anyways, they're badasses and they start at the lower level and they start clearing their way through the palace. And as they get higher, Feyre's oh, she's realizing there's all this death around her and she needs to be oh my God, is Rhys okay? And so she's he whittled a whole Illyrian army. His magic must be drained. And so then she tries to enter his mind, but his shields are up. And she's oh my God, your shields are up. Let me in. And it's bitch, hello, this is a war. Of course his shields are up. But anyways, he creates a little crack for her to come in and Feyre goes through it. And now she's seeing everything through his eyes and she's feeling everything that he's feeling. She feels his exhaustion and his muscles and his exhaustion and his magic. And there's something, there's a dampering, something that's dampering his powers and it's calling to him. And so Rhys is heading towards it. And then when he heads towards it, he sees the King of Hybun. Dun, dun, dun. And this is clearly a trap. And Feyre realizes that Rhys knew that it was a trap and he still didn't ask for help and he still went, but he is there and he's I'm going to kill you, but that's not exactly what he says. That's what season want him to say. But then Feyre's no, you see him, kill him, be done. And then Rhys is no, if I was smart, I would take him. I would capture him and let Azriel have his way with him. And again, Feyre's no, kill him, be done. Stop this before the war starts and more innocents die. But Rhys just is I'm going to have this conversation with the king because that's what we're going to do for the plot. So anyways, Rhys tries to lunge towards the king with his mind, but he can't, and he can't figure out what's going on. And then the king and Rhys have a little back and forth with each other. They're calling each other out. They're trying to see which of their dicks is bigger. Yep. But then Feyre is still in his head and is kill him, end this fucking war. And Rhys is still not doing that. He's just let me sit here. But then the king says, oh, such a remarkable girl, your mate. First Amarantha, and then my pet the adder, and then she broke the wards in my palace to aid your escape, and not to mention my niece and nephew. And Rhys is wait, what? And then Rhys asks well, what about Tamlin? And the king responds, oh, he has plans for you. After what you and your mate did to him, his court, what a mess you made for him to clean up. Those certainly made it easier for me to plant my troops in his land. And Feyre's oh shit, didn't think about that during Operation Spring Cleaning. This is bad. But then the king is oh, where did her gifts come from? Or who did they come from? So now they know the king knows that her magic came from the High Lords. And then the king says, it will take everything you know to try to stop me. Everything you have, and it still won't be enough. And when you've given everything and you are dead, Rhysand, your mate will be mourning over your corpse, and I will take her. Dun, dun, dun. Foreshadowing at its finest. And then Rhys asks, why? Why are you doing this? And Hybun says, and I quote, there was room at the table for everyone, for humans, for lesser fairies, for half-breeds. In this new world of yours. There was room at the table for everyone, so long as they thought like you. But the loyalists, oh, how you delighted in shutting us out. Looking down all of you all looking your noses down at us because we suffered when you stifled us. And then you shut us out. I have no interest in spending another 5 centuries seeing my people bow before human pigs, seeing them claw out a living while you shield and coddle these mortals, granting them our resources and wealth in exchange for nothing. So we shall reclaim what is ours, what was always ours, and what will always be ours.
It's very
We're going to come back
dystopian
to
king
that.
coded. Yeah.
We're going to come back to that because that is our sassy topic. And Reese is like, well, you can try, and then uses magic and tries to like strike the king, but it goes right through him. And then it's like, oh shit, this was an illusion. And I just want to be like, if you were this all powerful High Lord, how did you just figure out it was an illusion? But you know what? For the plot,
He didn't have that Lucian eye. That's why.
Was
he
just
didn't. I don't
about
even know
to
if the Lucian I would
say
have done
that.
anything, but you right.
He
But
was
he
too
would
far
have
from the
seen it
Bluetooth.
anyway.
You know what I'm saying?
He wasn't gonna see anything, anyways. But okay.
That part, you right.
So once he realizes the king is an illusion, the king gets like all his men and they get into their boat and they go in their boat, they sail away. And now we go back because this whole time, Feyre, what's in Reese's mind. And so now we go back and Moore is like shaking Feyre. She's like, wake up, like get up, do this. And I'm just like, look, I've never been in battle because I'm never going to be in battle. But I do think it's a bad idea to enter someone else's mind in the middle of battle when your body is defenseless.
Like, what was she thinking for real? You got to go hide behind a rock, tell somebody, like, watch and cover while I am not here. Like, I'm disassociating for a sec.
Right?
AFK.
So I'm chalking this up to Feyre's doing Feyre things.
The Lulu is hell.
Yeah. So she finally like reconnects with herself and she explains some more that the king was here, but it was an illusion. And so now Feyre and Moore like are like they like widows like the middle of the palace. Varian, what's his name? Varian, right? Yeah, Varian spots them and is like, should I kill you? You do have some blood rubies on your head. Technically only Feyre because Moore doesn't. But anyways, Varian looks at Feyre and goes, he's in the oak room. And I would love to say that one day I'm in the oak dining room because that means I have more than one dining room and I have to clarify it by oak. But anyways.
Out of all of us, you'd be the first one to have one.
You know what I'm saying? That
You got the
seaside house in
pine
Jamaica.
dining room, the oak dining room, the palm tree dining room, the strawberry tree dining room.
Anyways, so Varian's like, he's in the oak dining room. And Feyre just assumed that he was talking about Rhysand. But nope, she finds Tarquin. And Tarquin's like, looks at everyone. He's like, leave. And then he's like, I heard you help clear the island and the palace. And Moore's like, being the diplomat that she is, it's like, oh, your troops fought so bravely by our side. And Tarquin just says to Feyre, because he's paying zero attention to Moore. Like Moore could literally be in lingerie and he's just like not paying attention to her. He's like, my beef is with Feyre. And then he's like, I thought you came to finish the job. He heard that Tamlin had taken her back and then the Spring Court had fallen. And then he saw the Illyrians and he thought that they were working with Hybun to finish them off. And Moore is like, we would never work with Hybun. So then he asked Feyre, like, why? And Feyre says, our dreams are the same, a united realm in which lesser fairies were no longer shoved down, a better world. And Tarquin is like, oh, so that's what you're using to justify stealing from me. And then Rhys shows up because, you know, he has to. But Rhys shows up and he's like, oh, my mate and I had our reasons. And now Tarquin is like, oh shit, you all are mates. But then Tarquin's like, he blames Feyre because he's like, because you left Tamlin and you destroyed his territory, it left the borders open for Hybun to be able to dock at his harbors. But the Summer Court, they're the neighbors of the Spring Court. So like, obviously that means then they would have easy access into the Summer Court. And so Rhys is like, we did nothing. Hybun does his own thing that like he's his own person. And then Rhys says, we didn't have a choice. We stole from you in hopes to avoid all this like spilled blood. And then Feyre says, because she realizes like the war's kind of over, and she's like, well, we are at your disposal. And Tarquin tells them, you can leave and take their men. The summer court can hold the bay now. And Rhys tells Tarquin that he knows that he was alive when the first war was here, and this is just a taste of what's to come. He really wants Tarquin to come to the Lord's meeting, so he's like, please come to like the meeting. Prithian needs them, and Feyre, and he says that Feyre offer still stands, that they are at his disposal. And then Tarquin replies, oh, you could leave and tell your mate not to give orders to the High Lords. And then Rhys responds, dun, dun, dun. Well, she is High Lady of the Night Court, so she can give whatever order she wants. And Tarquin's like, oh, you spit on tradition. But this is a sign that from the Night Court that they really do want a new world, a better world, and they're like gonna do things differently. And that's like everything he said that he wanted. So it's just like just clicking in his mind that, you know, that it could be a better world. And so then Feyre and Rhys leave, and they head to a camp in the mountain, or like in the mountains that's like right over the summer court. It's obvious that they need allies, so the Lord's meeting is moving up to 3 days instead of 10 days. Feyre tells Rhys that she loves him. And Rhys says that there was a time that he dreamed of her telling her that, and it all started when they were at the summer court. It was the first time he wished. And then we get one of the most famous lines, to the stars who listen and the dreams who have answered. Feyre tells Rhys that that the world really needs to know how good he is. Like, he needs to stop putting on this mask because the king knows too much about them, and they need to change how they're doing things. So the Night Court needs to trust the other High Lords, so they need to show the other High Lords that they are a family and show them that they are the Court of Dreams. But while they're doing that, they're still going to keep the fact that Feyre has all their powers, and then they agree to that, and the night ends with them climaxing. And then we go home the next day, and Cassian is left behind because he needs to visit the...
Snuck that shit in there, okay.
Snuck it right in.
So then they head home the next day. Cassian stays behind because he needs to tell the family of the fallen Illyrians that their people have passed. When they get home, Amren's like, what happened? But really, she just cares about her boo. Rhys is like, he's fine. And Nessa's like, where is he? And then Nessa, just being the bitch that she is, and no one knows her better than this, Moore's like, he's busy, and when he's back, keep your words to yourself. And she defends Cassian. Rhys tells Moore that the Lord's meeting has been moved up. Just pick a fucking location and they're gonna figure it out. So Moore leaves, but Nessa still is showing no emotion. But then Nessa and Amren go back to study, and it's Amren that tells Nessa, Cassian has gone to war many times. There's a reason why he's the general of Rhysand's army. He is likely speaking with the family of the fallen Illyrian. So then Feyre tells Rhys, through the bond, take me to the prison now. So Rhys waits outside the cell, and Feyre goes to the bone carver and is like, find another object that you desire. And the bone carver still looks like her unborn son. But if Hybun knows all their histories and can predict how they're going to react or act during certain things, then maybe he won't be able to know that the bone carver is coming if they can get the bone carver on their side. And the bone carver is like, he doesn't want anything else but a window to the world. And really quickly, let's just talk about these creatures, these gods. We know the bone carver is a god, but let's talk about all these things. And it's just for 2 seconds, and it's they are not mean creatures being gods. They're really nice. Because we don't know the thing in the library right now. We just know that it's an it. Later on, we know it's something else. But right now, all he wants to do is have company to talk to and see the outside world. And the bone carver is he just wants the mirror to see what's going on in the world too, because they're in this prison. And it's they're not bad. The bone carver even says in earlier chapters, he's not like his siblings.
Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
If you were in a similar situation, what type of individual would you be to get what you wanted?
You know what I mean?
Okay, true. But I just think, okay, true. I don't know. Okay,
just like we thought Elaine was no good. Come to find out, she gonna be important. But she was portrayed.
Okay, true. People can hide who they are to get what they want. But
Just
these
saying,
things are
Bryaxis is like a
not.
oogie boogie eating people in the basement of a
No,
library.
but like, okay, I see your logic and I see like where you're going with that. But like the bone carver's like he allowed himself to be captured, right? He didn't want to be like his siblings. And
because
the
he was
thing,
hiding from them.
Damn.
she's not wrong,
Damn.
everybody. She's not wrong. Season is a little bit speechless and she is trying to figure out how to come back at this.
I'm just saying. I
She's
mean,
not wrong. You're not
I
wrong.
agree that they feel like good people. They're portrayed to us as like advantageous, non-villainous characters. We even felt that way about the damn Suriel. You know what I'm saying? But doesn't mean.
Okay, I'll give it to you. I take back my question. I just like to see both sides of the story, but I give it to you. You're right.
Yeah,
Like,
totally,
what makes them means that they're not. I give
For
it
the
to you. I
plot.
give it to you. So then the bone carver asks Feyre, like, is she afraid to claim the mirror? And then the bone carver knows that Rhys is standing outside his cell, and he's like, are you scared to claim the mirror? Rhys doesn't say anything, but he now comes into the doorway, and Feyre says again, pick something else, and the bone carver says, and I quote, what would you give me? Riches do me no good down here. Power holds no sway over the stones. What about your firstborn? And now Rhys realizes that Feyre's not just seeing any boy. And the bone carver says, bring me the mirror, and he would be theirs to wield. And Feyre and Rhys leave. And as they walk back, Rhys asks, like, well, what does their son look like? And Feyre lets them into their mind so they can see. Oh, I'm just going to say we'll drop this, but when we get to Starlight and whatever, or Frost and Starlight, I have so much to say about the bond that these two idiots created and then potentially leaving their abandoned son. But we'll get to that later. But everyone just keep that in mind because these two were idiots. But anyways, because they tied their lives together. If one dies and the other one, and it's like you knew you were having a kid. Like this was the most idiotic shit that you could have done. But we'll save that for later.
No, I'm with you. I remember that now.
Yeah,
I totally forgot about that. Totally forgot about that.
Yeah, like
Rhys
it's
was
the most
selfish as hell.
Yeah, we'll get to, trust me, I have so much to say about that in Starlight and or Frost and Starlight or whatever. But I'm like, these are they were concerned about having kids and leaving their kids behind and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, let's tie our lives together so one of us dies, the other one does.
And leave these kids alone in this fucked up world with the crazy ass king and his punk ass cauldron.
Bastards, right? Come on.
Yep.
Daddy issues.
To the T, yes. So then they head back at home, and Rhys and Feyre enter the kitchen, and they find Elaine with Nuala and Carwyn, and they're cooking, and they're laughing, and not only are they doing all that, Elaine is now hungry, and she asks them to cook, and so, like, Elaine has now, like, processed stuff, like, she is now she's trying to move past, like, her trauma, right? She's hungry, she's eating, she wants to do something, she wants to learn, and so these are all great things for Elaine. And I do think Elaine was in this little, like, first few chapters of this book. I do think she had to process it, but I still do think she was doing stuff for, like, what would benefit her in the long run. But anyways, she is now being a functioning member of society. And so the next morning at breakfast, Nessa's still waiting at the table because Cassian has not come back. But again, he is still visiting the family of the fallen. Amren, like, tells everyone that her and Nessa are close to, like, she's close to helping Nessa grasp the skills that she needs, that she's been teaching her, and Amren is close to finding whatever information they need from the book. And then Nessa asks Feyre, like, because the meeting with the High Lords in 2 days, and she's like, are you attending? And Feyre's like, yes. And then Nessa asks, you went into battle without a second thought. Why? And Feyre responds, because I had to, because the people needed me to. Because I'm a good human being. End of chapter. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, sassy topic. Oh my god. I said
Excuse
two
you,
things.
first
You
of all.
guys came at me.
Second of all, you are not about to give us a was Hitler wrong question, are you?
Damn.
Oh shit, she is.
Is Hybun justified in his
Jesus
actions
fucking
now that we
Christ.
know his reason for the war?
Does Hybun have a collar?
He put a collar on Tamlin and Lucian when he put Elaine and Nesta into the cauldron.
Because I feel like King Hybun is giving King from Throne of Glass.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh.
Are you there yet?
Well,
Well,
no. I mean, I'm at the end of the class. I'm literally like an hour left. But wouldn't his name would be something else? Why would they say Hybun?
No.
just
I
like
just
a
mean like,
similar
yeah,
magic
like
structure.
parallel. Yeah,
Oh,
that's all I
okay.
mean. Not.
I don't think I don't recall them ever saying he wore a collar. No, he used a collar, yes, but
He used it. He doesn't wear it.
Okay.
Agreed. He uses it.
What's his power? Does he have power? I'm sure all high fae have
kind
power.
of all encompassing.
Yeah, what Derek said.
But he does rely on a spell book.
He does rely on the spell book. That's how he was able to get through with the Ravens. That's how Amarantha did all her shit. He's relying now on the Cauldron to do a lot of things that Nessa took his power for. Anyways, answer the question. We're going around the circle and down the block. Is Hybun justified in his action?
No, I don't like Hybun. He's trash.
Fair.
He doesn't like that Reese. I mean, it was a manipulative way that he went about telling Reese.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like he manipulated Reese's world. He was like, it's because that's not the way you think. Like, okay, and is your way any better?
Right.
Right. Your way is not the way I think. How is that any different?
Mm-hmm. Derek Jotty.
Wait, hold on. Go back. Where's I need to read it.
Hold on. Let me see in my notes. I
Here
can
it
tell
is.
you exactly what he said.
There was room at the table for everyone. You and your ilk claimed, the king snorted, for humans, lesser fairies, for half-breeds. In this new world of yours, there was room at the table for everyone, so long as they thought like you. But the loyalists, how you delighted in shutting us out, looking down your noses at us. He gestured to the soldiers, modern king. You want to know why? Because we suffered when you stifled us, when you shut us out. I have no interest in spending another 5 centuries seeing my people bow before human pigs, seeing them claw out a living while you shield and coddle those mortals, granting them our resources and wealth in exchange for nothing. So we shall reclaim what is ours, what was always ours and what was. Yeah, he's giving Thanos. Don't you guys think he's giving Thanos?
Definitely giving Thanos. Also,
Love
I'm gonna need
the Thanos analogy. Yes.
an entire book read by Andrew.
Did you like my?
Yeah.
Love Thanos. So, did you think Thanos was right or wrong?
Yes.
I actually agree with Thanos.
Same.
Okay, so do you agree with Hybun?
No.
Jotty?
I'm not submerged enough in the Thanos world to know what the hell is going on, to be totally honest with you. But no, I don't agree with him. I mean, this is like the shittiest way he could have gone about this.
And he wasn't even there. He was a hologram.
Jump on the Thanos bandwagon. I agree with that. Many things. I don't agree with war. So like when I say justified, like I don't believe like war is justified. I also like don't believe like the death penalty is justified, because in my head it's like I'm gonna kill you for killing somebody. Like that just makes us hypocrites. I think there are worse ways to die, or there are worse ways to like live than death. Like that be the thing. But we go into taxpayer dollars and all this other shenanigans. But if we're relating this back to Hybun, he's not wrong. Like I don't think war is the answer, but
that was his answer.
No, but he's saying you didn't want anyone to think outside. Like he's telling Reese, you didn't want anyone to think differently than you, and so you exiled us, and I'm taking my shit back. And like, in all honesty, if everyone thought the same, that's bad. Like we do need people to think differently. We do need. That's almost like we need people to think differently. We can't all think the same.
We don't need people to think with xenophobia.
Okay, I agree to that point, but
so
we do need people to think differently, though.
Like hatred of all prejudice, overall prejudice.
Yeah.
Instead of like homophobia, bigotry, whatever, just xenophobia umbrella term.
Yeah, very Voldemort.
So, right, exactly. So like, yeah, sure, like my mindset is different from your mindset and we need different mindsets, but like when xenophobia is the mindset, when they are oppressing another people's as their their way of life, and like that's what I'm like, my liberation of those people are what my thought process is. Like, no, I don't agree with Hybun is justified, Hybun is right, because he wasn't trying to create a unified world and
he wasn't solutioning.
He was trying to oppress. He was trying
okay, I'll give you that.
He's
Yeah.
doing the
agree with that.
same shit. He's doing the same shit. So it,
Yeah. He wasn't trying to like take the resources for a select amount of people that encompassed all of that. He was just like, these
So
5
you're
people who are
saying
pretty get
Thanos
it.
is above Hybun, but Thanos is
Yeah,
okay.
because Thanos,
Got you.
he was just and fair. He picked like just half of everybody from everywhere. And then he was like, never mind. You guys are all going to keep remembering the shit you lost. Let's just start fresh, which is wild. But his whole thought process is like, our resources are going to run out. And so we got to
That
do something to
that
help.
was the rationale. Yes.
Like, and he solutioned for it. And I mean, don't get me wrong. It's crazy that it was just like, let's, you know,
With the
like
snap.
that was crazy. That's too much power. But I understand.
Mhm.
Like, I get it. Like, yo, you want, that's a
At
bar.
a
You're
point.
onto something.
Right.
That's crazy. Like, maybe we should stop having kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was like, I got the ultimate solution. Hybern, on the other hand, is like, oh,
I can't have slaves.
I'll give that to you. I'll give that to you. I'll give that to you. Especially because you use the Thanos analogy. I'm like, okay, like that's great. But
and
honestly,
I'm
when I
so
wrote this
tuned into
question, I
Marvel
was
right
just
now, you guys.
thinking, I think it's important to have multiple opinions at a table.
I
And I don't
agree
think
with
we all
that.
can have the same opinion. Because I think later in life, that's going to be bad.
But I
Like, we
think
all need to think differently.
what you're saying is right. You want everybody to have, like, there needs to be an open mind, an open concept to allow everybody's perspective to be heard, not like you don't need to react to everything that, but to your point, he was tripping. Hiram was tripping from the get go. Because why did he have collars? Like, I'm still forever, that's living in my head rent free. Why do you have collars? I need to know the connection to Throne of Glass. There has to be a connection. And,
Mhm.
and don't even get me started about the slaves in Crescent City, you guys.
We can't.
I'll
We
find out
literally
in
can't.
about 3 to 4 days.
And I can't wait because you're going to lose. I mean, you guys. But
So
no,
buddy
Hybern was
reading,
tripping.
it sounds like buddy reading for Jotty and Derek and Season. Am I correct? Or Derek, you're not going to
Yes.
buddy read.
Oh, I'll be there.
Oh, and Andrea, we're going to be there too. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. I'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.